Okay, so for this backwards design lesson plan, um, we are focusing on the vocabulary and vocabulary integration kind of sections for teaching English as a second language. And so the age group that I tried to focus on and gear this lesson towards was fifth graders, and basically the lesson title is vocabulary, and so it's just kind of focusing on helping students learn how to um, kind of know vocabulary that is needed for whatever concepts, and then integrating that into their daily life. And so basically for stage one, for the kind of desired results, those objectives and outcomes, I said that the students will learn and memorize the job vocabulary list in English. And so I have a little list. And so basically for this, the students are going to be learning um, job or like career vocabulary in English. And they will also learn how to work with classmates to describe jobs from a provided list. Um, and then the last one, I can participate in class by communicating with others in English during activities when applicable. So basically, a main kind of um, result for this that is desired for the students is that they will be speaking English during the entirety of the activity. And so they won't be using their first language to communicate with their classrooms at all, or with their classmates. They will be using English, even if it's super simple. And so kind of some key knowledge and skills that students will acquire in this lesson is the students will know every vocabulary word on the list and what it means, examples of the typical clothing or attire for certain jobs. So kind of using the job clothing as kind of like a signifier of that the students know what this job is and kind of what it defines. And then how to pronounce the jobs on the provided list. And so working on, that pronunciation so that they know how to not only kind of say what that word is and means, but know how to pronounce it as well. And then the students will be able to describe the qualities of different jobs. And so just kind of different things, for one job, kind of what it is and what the qualities it contains. And then lastly, work with their classmates to learn new vocabulary. And so they won't just be, sitting and memorizing a list of words by themselves, but that they will be doing activities as a class and with their groups in order to really learn those vocabulary words. And so I'm going to explain stage 3 before stage 2. Makes a little more sense. So basically, kind of for a warm-up prompt, the students will be asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And / what is your dream job? Kind of the same question, just kind of can clarify it for the students who may not understand completely. And so the students will kind of just discuss in their table groups. A couple can share out if they need to, if they want. Just kind of get that topic going and make it a little more personal so that they can kind of think, oh, what do I want to do and how do I say that in English? Because of course they'll probably know what they want to do, or at least have some sort of idea, but they might not be able to explain that in English yet. And so after they kind of talk and discuss about that, then each group will be given this little list of the vocabulary words. So this is just kind of a sample list that I made up of just some jobs, just possible jobs. And so obviously there could be more, there could be less, but these are just some main ones that I feel like would be interesting to learn and talk about for fifth graders. And so, just like a fitness instructor, firefighter, engineer, dentist, doctor, actor, things like that the students will be looking over and studying. And so as a class, they'll go over the list, and have, little definitions of what they are, very simple terms. Then after kind of explaining that to the class very, very simply, just basic, not in too much detail, then the class will kind of do an activity. So it's called the vocabulary dress to impress demonstration. So it's not really an activity, I guess it's a demonstration. So it says, after teaching a lesson about the job vocabulary, just from the list that we just looked at, and found that so this is a teacher basically saying this, that she found that none of the new vocabulary words were sticking to them. I ransacked my closet in the markets in town to find hats, pants, shoes, shirts, or any of the other objects that the class was learning about. I brought them in and cleared the center of the classroom to make a runway. I asked for a brave volunteer and then took him out into the hallway and let him choose a job from the list and the clothing for the occupation. When he came back into the classroom, I turned on music, and for 30 seconds or so, he could strut his stuff in front of the giggling classmates. Once the music stopped, the first person who raised their hand could tell me what job the person dressed represents. He or she would be next to walk down the runway. And so basically, this is just kind of a little demonstration, a little fun demonstration for the students. Make them laugh, and they can, visualize what those jobs are. So we aren't going to, go through all those jobs in class, but, have the students pick one that they want to do. So maybe just pick like 3 students, about that many to, walk down the runway in their outfit. And so kind of, material and preparation wise, the teacher will need to come prepared with those, those clothing items, those outfits. And so just for like an example, for like a cook or chef, you could just bring, one of the little chef hats and a wooden spoon. Or you could, for a police, you could bring a police hat and a little badge. It doesn't have to be, a whole crazy outfit, but something simple. And so, or for, like a fitness instructor, they could bring a little weight, with some tennis shoes. And so small things like that that the students can wear and then walk down the runway, and their students will guess, what job they're representing, down the runway. And so after that, lastly, kind of to see the evidence that is being shown, through this exercise, will be a group game, in order to practice these things. And so basically, a game will be played called Amnesia. And so this is kind of the part where the students will be expected to only speak in English. And so basically we will have cards with jobs on them, like a police, vet, model. It's kind of written on a little index card probably. And each student will get a card, but they cannot look at it. And so the task of the students is to break up into groups or pairs and try to tell each other what their identity is. Once someone has remembered his or her identity, that's why it's called amnesia, you hand over a new one and they can start over. So basically, the students will kind of walk around, have a little card, probably hold it up here on their head or something, and the rest of their group will have to give them hints so that they know, so they can guess which job they are, representing. And I think this will be really interesting because, especially with the English, the fact that they'll have to speak English the whole time, I think this will be a really good, chance for some students to push themselves that may not be as comfortable speaking out loud, because they will just be giving small hints, with their group. And so I think that this will be a good, chance for them to, participate. And so basically, that is, all. And lastly, the teacher's going to have to, probably help and guide a little bit for the students that are struggling, maybe. And the students will be able to carry their little, journal notebook around so they can take notes, and kind of figure some things out on how to explain these things in English. And so I think it'll be a really good learning opportunity for them.